Hello, it's your host Gabrielle. Welcome back to another episode of Tangents Are Relevant. This week we're both wearing purple to celebrate Wear It Purple Day, which is an annual LGBTIQA+ awareness day based here in Australia. We like to think and we hope that our podcast makes you feel welcome, and we celebrate all walks of life and all diverse approaches to creative living. Enjoy the show. Welcome everyone. Thank you for listening.
We've decided to include you in our weekly catch-ups. Every time we talk to each other, we feel so inspired and motivated, and we're really hoping to evoke that in you too.
Exactly. And even after 16 years of friendship and from different countries, every single time we talk, I am always reminded that I'm not alone in my journey.
And that as we walk the twists and turns of the creative path, the tangents always become relevant. Hello?
Hi. So, guess what? I'm so excited to tell you this.
Hi. What?
I made a painting for today. For today's episode.
Oh, can we see it? I think we should start with that. Amazing.
Here it is.
Oh, wow.
So it's got purple glitter. I've used purple glitter and written pride. So it's PRIDE. And then I've done gold glitter as well. Anyway, so super excited to show you that. And I love your purple dress.
Thank you. It's I've got a bit 30s today. It's my homage to the queer ladies of old Hollywood, of which there were many.
Nice.
So, yes. They ruled Hollywood, baby.
Yes!
We love the 90s. I love 1930s Hollywood because it was before Hays Code. Well, Hays Code came in towards the end of the 1930s. And, it was wild times. They were making all sorts of unusual semi-pornographic films of exploration, and I am here for it.
Yes. I'm actually so excited to watch your recommendations, and I haven't yet. I'm sorry, but I will.
For context, I'll just quickly mention what they are. So the films that I recommended Gaby watch, because we, in our planning of this episode, talked about touching on Marlene Dietrich, and I was like, oh, you've got to watch the Celluloid Closet and Colour Me Lavender. Both of them are documentaries about, particularly the Celluloid Closet, I love because it reveals so much behind the scenes and sort of secondary readings of a whole bunch of films that were produced by, directed by, starring people who were closeted. And a lot of the time there was multiple people on the set who all knew that each other were queer. And so they just represented themselves unbeknownst to the studios and the Hays Code. And if you watch the films afterwards, knowing what you know after the documentary, it's pretty interesting. And there's this element of na 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 about it, and I like it.
Yeah. That's so cool. It's whenever you get the chance, you're going to try to share your story and your truth, and I just think that's really cool. I can imagine me and Thomas doing that, you know what I mean, back in the day, or even at the theatre, we kind of did, but it was more accepted. But if it wasn't, we would have done it anyway. And so I'm so excited to watch. Can't wait. And you know what? Colour Me Lavender. How appropriate.
Oh, yes, that's today. So true. Do you want to give us a bit of context?
I thought you meant that. Yes. Okay, so for those of you who are watching us on the video version of our chats, we're both in purple, and I've already mentioned the purple paint. We're doing this in honour of Wear It Purple Day, which is an Australian Young Pride Day, which is about enabling safe spaces for our young queer people. So it's basically saying to anyone who's an ally, wear purple, and then people will know that you're an ally. And it's just about basically creating spaces where queer people can be comfortable and supported. So when I was looking up what dates are on, I was like, oh, that's so cool. We need to do it. So we're doing it. We're in purple. And I mean, I'm gay. I say gay, but we're all people, and it doesn't define me. It's part of me. But I don't think we need to keep on defining it. But for now, we do need to have safe spaces still. So I think it's really powerful and important. And B, actually, I'm talking to you, but to everyone right now, has been a real huge support for me throughout my coming out journey, and self-discovery journey in so many ways. But the main way was by not caring so much about it. Like, it was like, it wasn't an issue for you. Like, you were just like, oh, cool, whatever. Like,
yeah,
you wanted me to be happy. And that's what I really felt. Like, it wasn't a big deal sort of thing. It was just like, oh, yeah, cool, you know? And so thank you.
A pleasure.
Well,
thank you for being an amazing person. That's the thing, is it doesn't matter, does it? Like, who you're attracted to, who you sleep with, who you have a relationship with is your business, and it affects the people involved in those very specific things. And you know, I really, like, for me, I was very lucky, and I know it's a big privilege, but I was very lucky to grow up in a family where I never had to question not what my sexuality was, but like, it didn't matter. Like, I could have brought whoever I wanted home. I never felt the need to define it. And that's why now when people ask me, it kind of annoys me a bit. I'm like, why are you asking me? It's none of your business. Like, unless you're trying to take me on a date. Like, if you're trying to date me and you're like, so like, would you go out with me? I'm a girl, or I'm a guy, or whatever, you know, like, that's relevant. But in general, I feel like people are forever trying to find out. And it's like, just, if people want to share, they'll share. Like, you know?
That's right. I think that's a really important thing. Like, if you are a young person who's grappling with your sexuality right now and you happen to be listening to this, you don't have to say anything to anyone. You don't have to define it to anyone. No one is entitled to your information. No one is entitled to your feelings. You know, like, you don't have to share that. That's your personal, private information. But if you are and you're not safe, that's also not okay. So I think that's the key difference. Like, and a lot of the times people don't feel comfortable to say it because they're unsafe, or, you know, transgender people are still literally unsafe a lot of the time. So it's like, that's where creating safe spaces is really important. But you can go to those safe spaces and not tell all your mates at school.
Yeah.
That's fine. You know, you can explore and you can tell only those people that you're comfortable to tell. You don't owe it to your family. You don't owe it to anyone. The only person you owe it to is the person you're being intimate with. If you're not attracted to them, let them know.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a good point.
But you know what I mean. I actually was on the flip side of that before I realised I was gay with my first boyfriend. Do you know this? You must.
Maybe. I have to hear the story.
It was before I met you. Okay, so, but do you want to hear it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, right. So before I met you, I'd left the cult. I was in a cult, everyone, raised religious. So I'd left Heaven on Earth, and then I had started dancing. So I was very footloose. Dancing got me free. And I'd started ballroom dancing, and my teacher at the time was this really beautiful boy. Anyway, long story short, it turns out he was actually gay, but he was dealing with his own stuff, and we did like each other. But when it all came to a head, I was like, what? Like, I don't even care. And I'm so proud of myself when I think back on this, because even though I was like a straight Christian girl at the time, I still said to him, I don't care, as long as you're honest with me and you like me, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And when I think back on a lot of the things I've done in my past, I'm very like, oh, I can't believe I used to think that, or I can't believe I did that. But with that, I'm like, yeah, girl, perfect. Like, I stand by that. But anyway, we ended up breaking up. But I was really mad because I was like, if you're not like attracted to women, don't try to force yourself to be with a woman so that you can, you know, make yourself feel better. But then now, as I've gotten older, I'm like, it's more complicated than that, because like a lot of women do that in reverse with men, and I actually even did it. So like I thought it, and then I did it as well. When I realized I was gay, I tried to be with him.
Oh yeah.
Because I'd already tried to come out. I'd already come out, and then I was like, oh, I might just sneak back in that closet. It was quite comfy in there. It was a walk-in wardrobe, actually.
A walk-in wardrobe.
I might just jump back in. So I know a lot of people go, I've completely gone on a tangent, but my point was, like, it's complicated, and, you know, people aren't trying to hurt each other. But if you know that you're not attracted to the person you're with, you shouldn't take up their time. If you know that, like, don't cheat and be secretive. Just be honest. That's what I'm trying to say. Be honest.
Yeah. That's universal too, isn't it? Because, like, really, it doesn't matter whether the reason that you're not attracted to them is because you're attracted to the opposite sex or not. Like, you can be attracted to other people that are the same sex as them, but not them. And you still need to acknowledge that and like do yourself and the other person a favor and pursue happiness. Like neither of you are going to be happy in that situation.
Totally.
Like, unless you're asexual, which is also very like okay and relevant and like, but you both need to agree on that.
The more we talk about this, the more it's becoming really simple. It's like, it doesn't matter what you are, just be honest with the person you're with. That's it. And everybody else, sure, if you have the strength, but it's depends on the environment you're in. But it's like, just be honest.
And surely we can talk about our partners without like, I don't say Val's name anymore. I just refer to him as my partner, which
that's good.
Ironically, now I didn't ever really think about it. Everyone thinks I'm gay. Yeah.
Perfect.
I did a post with another female influencer in Paris, and we like obviously we're in a hotel because we don't live in Paris.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Oh my god, I knew it," and I'm like, "Knew what? Oh no!" And they're like, "I'm like, guys, we live in different countries. Like, obviously, we're not a couple." Like,
also, if you were a lesbian, that would never fly. Like the minute you like each other, you would move to the other country. You would be there. You'd U-Haul. You'd be like, right. We're on here. You would drive across Europe in like a beaten up rental if you had to.
How long have we been friends now?
2008.
Yeah, because I moved to Bendigo in 2010. So yeah, that sounds right. It's 2008.
So that's when we met, 2008. At some point in 2008, and you gave me the Harry Potter book and I didn't read it.
I gave you a Harry Potter book?
Still haven't.
I think that might be the only one I ever owned.
Oh no, I probably still have it in a box.
Oh, it doesn't matter. To be honest, I liked the series. I loved the Harry Potter series, but I'm never going to read the books again. Well, I'm not someone that goes back and rereads books. There's too many books in the world.
I barely rewatch things as well. It's you got to be really special for that. Yeah. So wait, what's 2008 till now?
Well, it's 2024, so it's been 16 years. You had it spot on at the start.
Yes. I thought I had
16 years.
That's crazy.
That's why when you said you came out 10 years ago, I was like, wait, I thought I'd known you for 10 years. How long, like, how old are we?
Hold on. Totally. I know. When I was like, it's been 10 years, I was like, hang on a minute. I was an adult. I was a mature age student when I realised I was gay.
Mature age student. Oh my God. So how, like, 28 is a mature age student? That's fucked.
I was 24 and I was considered mature age because everyone else was 18.
Oh my God. I hate, like, that's like when women get pregnant in their 30s and they call it a geriatric pregnancy. It's like, fuck off. Seriously? Like, fuck off.
I know.
They don't call it geriatric sperm. Maybe they do, but I feel like when a man in his 60s has a kid, no one says shit. It's just like he's just a father. Yeah. But if you're a mum who's older, she's geriatric.
Yeah, let's call it geriatric father.
Yeah. Let's see how they feel about it then. They. Yeah. They. Yeah. The patriarchy.
We'll get you with our word game.
This is not actually a man-hating podcast. I love and appreciate many wonderful men in my life. I just like to say that because I feel like sometimes when I get on my rants, the men in my life who are good to me, that they don't say, not all of us, they don't say anything like that, but I can see them going,
yeah. Look, I've only got a few that I love and respect, but luckily for me, they are close relatives and good friends. But, you know, I pick and choose wisely because I've had my fair share of bad experiences.
I don't think I picked and choose wisely. I think that's why I've ended up with quite a few bad eggs in my past. I did not pick and choose wisely.
Yeah, I'm very careful. I'm very, very cautious. I tread it carefully. I'm like, are you going to hurt me?
Yeah, fair enough.
Hope not. Oh. But that's what you do with anything when you've been hurt. By anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I get pricked by a cactus, I'm going to be careful of cactuses from now on.
Yeah, so true. Yeah.
And also, it's up to people just to be good. It doesn't matter what your gender is. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah. We always come back to this, like, in each episode, I think. It's just, like, taking responsibility for yourself and working on yourself. It's, like, the best way to be a good person to other people is to actually focus on yourself.
Yeah, stop worrying about
in
them.
a lot of ways.
Yeah. Okay, remember what you said to me this week? For everybody listening and watching, I'm gonna get expressive here because B said something that was so good. I was like, this needs to go on a t-shirt. I even told Erin about it. I was like, this is great. Genius. So we're chatting about all this sort of stuff when we weren't recording this week. And B goes, because I was saying, when we say, we're going to do the work, like we're going to fix ourselves, we're going to work on ourselves, like, in a relationship, we're going to do the work to, develop communication, whatever. And I was like, doing the work sounds so, like, heavy and hard, but really it's not. And then you were like, yeah, we need to change it. And then B goes, it should be take the easy road, take accountability. I was like, that is good. Take the easy road, take accountability. Because the minute you do that, everything just is easier. It's like, hey, I'm sorry for this thing that I did to you. Just focus on that. And then the other person will most likely go, oh, I'm sorry for this thing. But even if they don't do that, the tension's eased. Everything's easier. It's much better.
Yeah.
Much better.
Absolutely.
But,
and it's like a litmus test. Am I using that correctly? Like, I know what a litmus test is. I'm not sure if contextually that works, but whatever. If the person doesn't take responsibility for themselves, you took the right step.
That's right.
If they don't do that, then you know for sure you're dealing with someone that you are wasting your time on, you know? Like,
you can stop dealing with them.
Easy.
Yeah. If you can do it, then they should be able to do it too. It's like a good test. It's a good way to test out if you're not sure, if you haven't treaded lightly. It's a good test. But also, I think that needs to be normalised. Like, instead of saying do the work, use B's catchphrase. Take the easy road. Take accountability.
Take the easy road.
It's genius. Genius, B. Honestly.
Yeah. Being pig-headed and stubborn hasn't worked out great for me in the past. I'm not saying I'm perfect, guys. I made a lot of mistakes till I was eventually like, maybe it's me. Am I the drama? Yes.
Is what it is. Is what it is.
Yeah, it's so true. I love how we just become a relationship podcast. Like, we're not professionals. We probably shouldn't be giving you advice, but listen to our podcast about relationships.
Don't listen to a thing we say about anything except friendship. We've nailed that.
That's right.
16 years and going strong.
16 years and going, we got this down.
We've never actually argued, ever. We're always so respectful.
No, I don't think we have.
I know, it's great.
We've definitely been disappointed in each other, but we've always just said it. Like, I definitely can think of times where, as your friend, like, I've done, like, I think of that New Year's where I disappeared. I drank too much and I disappeared. I look back on that and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad Gabe is still my friend. What a fucking asshole. I was such an asshole. I mean, I know why I did it, but.
Nah, I was just worried about you. No, I think you're too hard on yourself about that because that was quite a tense energy situation. Like, there's a few layers of shit going on there for everybody. And I feel like I would have done that too if I had have had the courage, but I was controlled. So I was trapped at the tent trying to be nice to everyone, you know? Like, I don't think you need to feel that
thanks,
bad
babe.
about it.
I appreciate that. I definitely, like, I think I like to take accountability in the sense that I definitely, I made the decision to do that because I honestly didn't think anyone would notice that I was gone, which is a stupid decision. I made that decision because I was drunk. So I was like, I'm going to go and sit on the beach on my own and stare at the sky because no one even cares if I'm here anyway. And then, of course, having not told anyone and being on a beach where there's like a dangerous rip and massive waves and, you know, it's pitch black. Everyone was like,
it did get scary. It did get scary. And that's only because I love you. And so I'm just glad you're okay. And even at the time, I was never mad at you, ever. I was just like, are you okay? What's going on that you felt the need to do that? Like, I was only ever worried about you. And I never, ever, honestly, never once was mad at you in that situation. Ever. Like, at all. And, like, I feel really bad.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, the amount of times I have let you down. Holy shit. Especially, though, I feel like I always am in the past, I've been very unreliable. But especially that time when I just disappeared because I was having fun at uni with Thomas and we were meant to meet up and I completely forgot. And you were worried about me.
Same thing, though, because I wasn't mad at you about that. I was worried that you weren't okay. But when I knew where you were, and we've talked about this, I think, in a previous episode, but I wasn't mad about it because I'm your friend and I understood what you were going through and the context of why that happened. And I was like, oh, okay, she needs to go and have fun at uni. She's away from her life that I honestly wanted you to escape. And so just good. It's not with me and that's fine. I'm not the person that she needs right now and that's okay.
Yeah. I think that's healthy. Really healthy.
I think I'm a big advocate too of like choosing what you say, like in the moment. Do you really, and I probably should apply this to relationships more, but with my friendships and with us, there's times where I've been annoyed. And I'm actually a big advocate for choosing one person you vent to. Like I vent to either a very close friend or most of the time I'll just vent to my partner. And you get it out of your system. And then sometimes after you vent, you're like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't say it to that person because this is bullshit. Like I need to get over this. If you'd said it to them, it's irreversible. Yeah, exactly. I was just a bit annoyed. Oh, I'm fine now.
That's true.
Not worth ruining a friendship over.
Yeah. My friend Robbie taught me that years ago. He said, whenever you're feeling annoyed, you need to have at least a 45-minute rule, but ideally a 24-hour rule before responding.
Oh, okay.
Good, right? And then see how you feel.
That's really good.
So good. So he told me that. And then in therapy, my psychologist years later said a similar thing, which was, I'm sure most people have probably heard this, but I'm going to say it anyway, because it's super handy if you haven't. If you're making a decision or you're feeling emotionally triggered or, whatever, before you react, halt, right? That's the word you got to remember. Halt. So if you're feeling triggered, halt. And it stands for, are you hungry? Are you angry? Are you lonely? Or are you tired? Halt. So you got to deal with all that first. Are you hungry?
That's genius.
Yeah. Are you hungry? Are you angry? Are you lonely? Or are you tired? If you're none of those things, then carry on. Deal with the issue. But if you've got to sort of make sure most things are those, hot tip, most of the time we're hungry.
Yeah, yes. Especially as artists, like if we get caught up in working on a project, eat first.
Just eat. Yeah, eat, then see how you feel.
Yeah.
Wait 45 minutes or 24 hours, then see how you feel.
Yeah.
Talk to a friend, like you said, healthy venting. Don't be lonely, then see how you feel. Have a nap, then see how you feel. Such good advice.
Yeah, just a bit of self-care. Once again, it's about turning inwards again, isn't it? It's not selfish to take care of your needs because in the end, it's actually going to benefit other people, provided you're not just focused on yourself like a narcissist. It's a different thing, but
Yeah, it's a necessity. You can't, how I finally got over that, because I was raised obviously in the church. And so for those who don't have that, who don't know, which is probably everyone listening, except my family, hey, I was raised evangelical Christian, and part of that belief structure is very much give to others, help others, which is beautiful. And it is most of the time a very good thing. But when you're a little kid and that's all you kind of know, you think that looking after yourself is bad. So it's taken me a long time to work through it. And one of the tricks for anyone struggling with this, it may or may not help you, but something that helped me was I realized that if I don't look after those basic things to make myself the best version of myself, which are important, someone else has to do them. So like if I don't eat, for example, someone else is cooking for me, which is actually not fair on them. It's like I've kind of flipped it. So I'm still doing it for other people, but for myself. And now I'm past that. But that was one of the steps along the way that helped me to practice flipping that script around, if that makes sense.
That's really interesting. I sort of hadn't thought of it that way before, but it's so true, isn't it? Because if you're not looking after yourself, things fall apart and then you have a breakdown and then you need other people, because none of us can do it alone, can we? But
no.
Taking care of yourself, taking responsibility so other people don't have to carry a load that's not theirs to carry.
And if you don't, they inevitably will have to. So you'll either be sort of rolling through different friends because no one's going to put up with that for a long time, or exhausting someone, or you'll be vulnerable to manipulators and abusers because they can see that and they'll take advantage of it.
Yeah, they won't look after you. They'll just take all of the giving that you've got going.
and tell you they're looking after you because you're not doing it, so you don't know what it looks like. It's getting heavy there, but it's true. So, again, not a psychologist. Don't take my word for it, but this is my experience. Just my experience.
Yeah, maybe under our podcast, we'll leave some links to some professionals.
Definitely speak to a professional. But
yeah,
what we're trying to say is look after yourself the best you can.
Yeah, solidarity over here. Not professional advice, but like solidarity.
We believe in you.
It's okay. It's okay to take care of yourself, and it's okay. It's not okay to not be okay. Yeah. Obviously, we want you to be okay, but if you are struggling, it's okay to say that you are struggling, and to like the more that you are open with people and communicate, as we love to say on this channel, the more you communicate with people about whatever it is that you need to say, the better. I think that's always the solution. Always.
100%. And like this week as well, we've found that with us, we were meant to record and then I had technical issues. Then we were meant to record again and you weren't feeling up to it. And then I wasn't feeling up to it either. So, but if we hadn't have communicated all of that, and even now, after 16 years and knowing I can trust you, I still feel bad because it's so deeply ingrained. Like I'm like, oh, I'm really letting her down. She's going to be dressed up. Like, you know, it's like,
same.
The panic. Like, oh, no, she's mad at me. Oh, I've been annoying. Oh. It's so annoying. Yeah. But then every time I'm always like, oh, because you're actually so understanding. And it's like, oh, thank you. But that's exactly the thing you have to practice is just saying what you actually feel and need, and not in the past I would have pushed myself past that point and then been exhausted, thinking that's what I wanted to do, but it's not what I wanted to do at all.
Yeah, and like there's time. We don't have to rush everything, and like both of us feeling guilty about very legitimate reasons why we were overwhelmed and stressed. Like you're literally trying to move house. You'd come to the end of your business course and need to do like a showcase. You had to do artworks, commissioned artworks, and you were also working to earn extra money because you've just made a big investment that you have to pay off. Like I think they're pretty legitimate reasons for you to feel like the podcast recording that week was maybe a bit too much. And I was literally sobbing in the shower like uncontrollably, so I couldn't put makeup on my face, and I was like, babes, both of us, just give yourselves a break.
Yeah, it's okay. Like if you can't stop crying in the shower because you're dealing with personal grief and feelings, that's more important. You know what I mean? Like listen to your body and we can do it later. Actually, we should say on this, and this does come with experience, I think, with being a creative and working for ourselves for so long, but we made a conscious effort when we started this project together to plan ahead so that we had time, so that we weren't stressed. So I'm just going to say for everyone listening who is a creative or building your own business or whatever, if you take nothing else from this, take that. Give yourself time and space for mental breakdowns, to have a break, to have a week off with your partner and have fun. Like go, instead of going, oh, I can fit all this in, go, all right, I want to allow an extra 4 weeks for potential fun stuff I might want to do, whatever, and work out a way. There's always a way to do everything. You just got to work it out. So I think if you can start scheduling in time for yourself and backup time for yourself, it'll make your creative journey way more fun and it'll make your business journey more sustainable. I truly believe this with all of my soul.
Totally. Yeah, that's such a great point. And I think I don't know if you found the same thing, but I get this thing where I find the sense of urgency, like maybe I've procrastinated on something that I really wanted to do, or I've been focused on other things and it's not even procrastination. I just hadn't, had time to focus on something I really wanted to get to. And then there's this urgency, like you have to do everything now. There's like the saying, and you've said this to me so many times before, is like, if you really want to do something, start today. But it doesn't mean you have to reach the end goal that day. It just means don't stop putting off starting. But like for us, we were originally talking about recording the podcast every week trying to release it the following week, like doing everything in real time the way that I've done YouTube before. And I know that that is not sustainable, having done it. I know. But that was sort of the original plan. And eventually, like, why are we doing this? Why don't we just record them all in advance, plan to release it down the track? Like, you guys are going to be watching this episode in September. It is currently June. Like, we have just given ourselves space. We're still doing it. Like, just because we're giving ourselves space and time does not mean we're not being productive. And it's so much more enjoyable. I'm really enjoying making the podcast with you, as opposed to feeling like, oh God, I have to fit this in. I've got all this other stuff to do. So much better.
Yeah, I was going to say as well, like when we had that conversation about let's plan it ahead and everything, I think you led that because you're like, I've done this with YouTube. I don't want to find myself stressed out. And I was like, oh, it makes so much sense. And then now I'm like, oh, I already learned this lesson with the theatre because I never scheduled. We always scheduled ahead everything, which was great. We're very good at planning. But I never scheduled a break for myself, even weekly or monthly or yearly. Never. So I just worked 18 hours a day every single day for 3 years. So no wonder I burnt out. So that was the lesson from that, which is the same thing, scheduling space, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So you went away on your Bali trip this year and I went to Nice to scope out potentially moving there. And I think both of us said that was like the first time in our history as entrepreneurs and and creatives that we've taken time out, because like there's so much you do everything. So I think it's really common for creatives to burn out like that, because you just feel like who else is going to take over? It's your baby. So if you put the baby down for a week to go on a holiday, that it will just all fall apart. It doesn't. I can say from experience that even if you like YouTube, the world is not going to end because you take a break from YouTube and don't post anything. They like to tell you it will. It won't. It won't. You'll be fine.
Because they want their engagement too as a company, you know?
Mm-hmm. So true. That's such a great point. Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the pros of coming out of a lot of controlling and manipulative environments in my life. I feel like now the negative is that I don't trust anyone, but the positive is I can see what people are trying to do for their gain, you know what I mean? And it's like, you've got to always remember that whatever information you're receiving, what are they trying to achieve? And so it's like, a lot of the time, a lot of the pressures that we think are real are not. They're people trying to hit their goals and do their thing. So, you know, I've noticed that when I take a break and when I actually say, no, I can't do this, like we talked about this week, when we say no, we get more interest because people respect it because they probably wish they were doing it. It's like, oh, you've worked out how to do that? Like, for anyone listening and watching this week who is creative and struggles with this, I would love to do like an experiment where you just experiment a little bit with saying no to something or taking space, not for fun, but like in terms of doing something that you wouldn't normally, to have your own space for your own mental health and like well-being. And then let us know how it goes.
Yeah, I would be really intrigued. This is a theme recently. The YouTube channel that I sent you was talking about the same thing, about scarcity, about like making people miss you. So I'm very intrigued to hear people's stories and how it works out for them. Take the leap.
Woohoo! We did it again. Woo! But thank you all so much
for
listening. And shout out to the Wear It Purple Day.
Yeah, guys, so we'll see you next week for the last episode, at least in this season. And then, make sure you follow us everywhere so that you can keep updated on whatever happens next.
Thanks, Bea. All right, I'm going to turn the camera off. I love you. Mwah.
Love you too. Mwah.